Alrighty. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining. If you are joining live and if you're watching this as a recording, thanks for tuning in. I'm doing this video today because I did a critiquing type of video recently and people enjoyed that. Yeah, they found it helpful to see what kind of feedback I would give myself if I went back in time. So in this case, it's going back to, I want to say it's 2006. Yeah, so that puts me 15 years ago. What was I doing in the world of harmonica? What did I sound like? We've got this video, the Funky Blues harmonica video that I'm going to cue up here in just a moment. Before I do that, I just want to say that I've got a lesson that I created many years ago, probably a couple years or 3 years, 4 years after doing that video. I set up a video cam and I recorded myself going through the clip riff by riff, calling out what I'm doing, and it includes handwritten tablature. So you get a video, an MP4, a PDF of some pretty ghetto tablature. It works though, it's all there. And I give you the track, the Funky Blues track to work with. So if you want to learn how to do any of the ideas in this video that I'm playing here from 2006, I put that lesson on sale. It'll be in the video description after this video is posted. All right, let's get into it. All right. First, I must share my screen. You guys see that okay? I'm guessing you can. You see the video pulled up. This thing has 2.3 million views. It's my most popular video as far as view count goes. And I thought it'd be cool to go through it. So let's do it. Let's just jump right in and see. You know, there's not any real preparation going on here other than I'm going to listen to it and try to give myself feedback. So good morning to everybody tuning in. Here we go. Let's jump in. Let me know how the volume. First step, Ronnie, maybe get some decent lighting. That might help. Yeah. Let me see something here. Oh, there I am in the corner. Okay. Get some good lighting. Get some lighting going, and maybe roll your sleeves up. I got a lot of grief for that. People making fun of that, but not a big deal. Who cares what you look like? That's not what's important. So the lighting would have helped a little bit. And one of the things I know I'm going to tell myself this feedback right out of the gates, everybody, is that throughout this clip, I can just tell that I played with a bunch of passion. So there's some positive feedback. I put it all out there. I was really invested and passionate in my playing. But in the process of doing that, I realized that I'm just using ever so slightly too much air. So let's see how that translates. I think when overall I could just back off a little bit. If I would have just taken a minute and backed off my air just a tiny bit, the overall tone would just improve. And another thing that I noticed in some of the areas of this clip is that you can hear that there are notes like the 4 draw that just went slightly flat on me, similar like in that other video that I pointed out, the harmonica improv video. So if you're working on really good control over your bends or notes that you don't even want to bend, you're not trying to bend like a 4 draw and it's going flat on you, you may not notice it until you record yourself. The answer lies in just backing off on the air and letting the mouth relax, let the tongue come down. I'll point out the hand thing that I pointed out in the last video. I had a really straight hand like this where I just held my hand sort of straight, and that's not helping me to shape my sound. You want to relax and get more of this kind of C shape out of your hand. Yeah, like that little riff. Let's see if I can find a C harp. In the moment here, guys. that kind of riff didn't get articulated. The notes aren't really presenting themselves as sharply as they could had I backed off. Okay, in this little chunk here, one thing that happens as a result of kind of getting amped up when you play, one of the results, and this can happen if you don't just slow release that emotion, is that you get ahead of yourself and your timing can get off. So I noticed that right here, right around the minute mark, there's an idea where I have the idea and I'm so ahead thinking of the idea that I just play it and I'm not letting it settle and just fall into the timing of the music. Makes sense? So just, if there's ever something I could change in this area, it's just to settle a little bit more. You know, when you're pumped up and you're playing and you're really feeling something, it's hard to control what comes out. It just sort of comes out the way it does. But you learn over time that you can relax with this and really get more control. What I call is slow releasing that energy, but also leaving maybe appropriate spaces, even that musical space idea where you're not just overplaying. I did leave space throughout this clip, but you'll see that there's parts towards the end where I think it could have just breathed a little bit more, maybe. Like that too. I hear this little... It just could have been more articulate. That's the word. I got more questions about this technique. Is the sound okay coming through live? Can somebody just let me know the sound is okay of the video clip? Because on my end, it's really low volume, but I think it comes through the Zoom for you guys okay. While I'm doing that, let me talk about this little riff that you hear going on here. I might as well just teach it to you. Everyone's asked me about this over the years. I got so many emails. Hey, there's this spot at 1:15 or 1:13, whatever this is, that where you're playing this riff. What's going on? So I'm just going to teach you this riff really quick. It's 4 bend, 4 draw. So that's a lift out of the bend. And then I say da, da on 4/5 draw. C harmonica. And then you just got to work on building speed. And how do you build speed? You play gently. Don't play it too hard. Way too much air right there. And it's just, the only detraction is that it could have been a sweeter tone. I gotta say it. I mean, if I had just backed, what happens also is that 3/4 draw, that's a common area to get that nice bluesy sound off the double stop there. But if you play that too hard, one thing that it didn't happen here, but one thing that can happen is the notes just seize up and you just literally don't have anything. It'll just stop. It'll freeze up the reeds. And here's the part where this section of from like 135 to 140, I just had so many ideas coming out. I think if I had just taken away and just let it breathe a little more, it would have been even more impactful. It's nice to take a pause right there. If I give myself credit, at least I did do this throughout where I just had moments of just stop and set yourself up, let it breathe. That was the other most commonly asked question. What the heck is going on with that sound right there at 155 or so? I'm going to teach it to you real quick. It's a 4 bend. You can do this on multiple holes like 2 and 3. But all you do is just get your tongue saying, get it just really bouncing back and forth. In the back portion of your tongue, you're bending. And you start to get the tongue to pump. I call it a tongue pump. That's the sound without the bend, you know, if I don't have the harmonica in my mouth. But I'm doing that on the 4 bend. A little bit of head right there. One was more in the pocket. play one. All right. All right. Let's stop all that. Cool. Although I should give myself a little bit of credit in the sense that what's most interesting to me sometimes is that I go back and listen to things I've recorded and I go, wow, I don't even ever do that riff anymore. I'm not playing in that manner. I don't use that idea or put these things together. You can learn a lot sometimes in a good way, like, hey, you used to do these things, you can still bring those in, and now I'm doing things that I definitely didn't do back then. But you don't want to lose things that you're capable of or ideas. So I just feel like going back is valuable. Going through these clips is kind of cool to see what I notice. I didn't spend any time trying to prepare for that. Just wanted to let it happen organically. But like I said, I created this lesson afterwards a few years later where it's just me. It's not the highest quality, but it's okay quality of a video of me just going through every single riff and calling it out, and then including the handwritten tablature that I had handwritten. It's like a PDF of the tablature. So if you, for $10, if you want to grab it, it's on sale. You can learn some of the ideas that I presented there. But yeah, it's kind of cool to go through these, and I appreciate whoever it was that suggested that I do another one. I think it's kind of a cool idea to go back to these older videos and see what was up. I mean, that was 15 years ago. So I think the biggest takeaway for me is that I've learned how to settle and learn how to relax with still having that energy at the forefront of my emotion right there, ready to pour out of the instrument, but learn how to just relax and breathe easier at the same time. That takes experience. It takes time to get to that point. And I think that's the biggest thing, that the takeaway when I listen to that is I learned how to really rein it in, so to speak, but still, and be a little more articulate in the process of really making sure that when you use a technique or a specific phrase, that it comes across, that people really hear your intention of how you wanted it to come out and what it sounded like, note for note, nuance for nuance. So yeah, thanks for tuning in today. Trying to just check some of the comments here real quick. Somebody says, I think that's the first thing I heard you play. Yeah. It was very spontaneous, and the backstory to that clip is kind of funny. I'm wearing, like, in my world, that was my dress shirt. I'm wearing a dress shirt with this, I didn't have my sleeves rolled up or anything, but I was on my way out the door to try to go get a job at a car broker where this guy sold like fancy cars, and it was a broker. So I was into cars. I'm still into cars. I love cars. But I remember spending so much time back at that time in my life bouncing around between part-time jobs or full-time jobs occasionally that I held down as long as a year, and gigging every night, and just still not really being able to focus on the music and really make the income that I needed. And it was a frustration that continued until approximately 2010, after being married a year and getting a kick in the ass from my wife, who said, you need to focus on your passion. Leave that part-time job you're bitching about. Focus on the website. And that's what I did. So here we are today. I get to wake up and do this instead. And I appreciate all you joining me live today. I will be back soon. I might have a really exciting last-minute announcement. If you're not on my newsletter, check it out. Just go to harmonica123.com, go to the sort of the middle or lower portion of the homepage, and you'll see a place where you can sign up for my newsletter so that you don't miss this announcement that I might release as soon or as early as today or tomorrow. It's going to be quite neat if I can pull this off. And then what else was I going to tell you? Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I know a lot of people tune in, but they don't actually subscribe, and I forget to mention that all the time. And give the video a like if you enjoyed it, and join me again. I'll be back for some other content before you know it. Y'all make it a great day. Oh, okay, cool. Somebody's mentioning the video with Greg. Oh, I wonder which one. Oh, you mean you're talking about they're talking about the Texas Harmonica Festival. There's a couple clips with Greg. Yeah, maybe I could go back and do that. Yeah, I'll go check it out. I am not in the Denver area. I'm in the Midwest these days for Charlie who's asking. Yeah, I'm in Champaign, which is South Central Illinois, and I've been out here for about a year and a half to get closer to some of my good friends and people that I play with in the music industry. You know, I've got a lot of contacts and friends up in Chicago and here in Champaign as well, and it allows me to go take some opportunities recording and gigging with these groups and these fellas that I would never have been able to do had I stayed out in Denver. And that's only one reason really why I'm here. But um oh, I see. Yeah, back in the day. All right, so cool. You guys check out the newsletter. Just jump on. It takes 2 seconds. Do it right now. Head to harmonica123.com. Maybe I can schedule an occasional regular live stream when you know, so that you know when I'm coming on next. Once or twice a month. I don't want to commit to too many of those because my schedule is constantly changing. But it'd be cool to do like a happy hour, like I did it one time and it was fun to hang out like at least Central Time, somewhere in the zone of like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and just hang out, take a couple questions, drink some tequila with you guys, and relax just on a non-focused way. All right, cool. Yeah, there's more than one with us both on stage. You ought to go check them out, Eric. Yeah, there's one with us. There's a couple clips from that. I think there's more than one of both of us playing. Yeah, you're right. There might just be one. I'll go check it out. Y'all make it a great day. Hope to see you soon. Hey, thanks, Clay. I caught your comment right as I was about to stop this video. Appreciate it, man. All right. See you soon.